In a small, dusty village surrounded by dry fields and narrow dirt roads, there lived a poor laborer named Ramu. His life was simple, repetitive, and exhausting. Every morning before the sun had fully risen, Ramu would wake up, drink a cup of plain water, tie a rope around his worn sandals, and head out to work. He owned nothing of value except his donkey, which was old, slow, and as tired as he was. Ramu earned his living by digging soil from barren land at the edge of the village. He would dig for hours under the burning sun, his hands blistered and his back bent from years of hard labor. Once enough soil was collected, he loaded it onto his donkey and walked to the village market, where builders and farmers bought it for small construction work. The money he earned was barely enough to feed himself and keep his donkey alive. This routine never changed. Dig, load, sell, repeat. No dreams, no plans, just survival. One afternoon, while digging deeper than usual, Ramu's shovel struck something hard. Annoyed, he assumed it was just another rock blocking his work. He cleared the soil around it and pulled out a small stone. It was unusually smooth and shone brightly under the sunlight. Ramu squinted at it, tilting his head. He had never seen a stone like this before. "It looks nice," he muttered, but that was as far as his curiosity went. Ramu had no education, no exposure, and no understanding of precious stones. To him, valuable things were rice, money, and land, not shiny rocks. Without giving it any real thought, he tied the stone around his donkey's neck using a piece of old rope. It looked decorative, almost like an ornament. Ramu chuckled at the sight and went back to work, completely unaware that he had just treated a priceless diamond like a toy. The next morning, as Ramu walked through the village toward the market, people noticed the stone hanging from the donkey's neck. Some stopped and stared. Others whispered. A few laughed, thinking it was just another strange habit of the poor laborer. Among those who noticed was Shyamlal, a wealthy merchant who owned a small grocery shop in the village. Shyamlal was not poor, but he wasn't rich either. He had built his life carefully, counting every rupee, bargaining aggressively, and never spending more than necessary. When Shyamlal saw the shiny stone, something about it caught his attention. It sparkled differently from ordinary rocks. He stopped Ramu and asked, "What is that shiny thing tied around your donkey's neck?" Ramu smiled proudly. "Oh, that? I found it while digging yesterday. It looked nice, so I tied it there. Will you sell it to me?" he asked casually. Ramu hesitated, not because he thought it was valuable, but because no one had ever offered to buy a stone from him before. "How much?" Ramu asked. Shyamlal waited, expecting a high demand. 50 rupees, Ramu said after a moment. Shyamlal's eyes widened in surprise. He immediately agreed, paid the money, and took the stone. Ramu walked away happy, thinking he had made a good deal. 50 rupees meant extra food for a few days. He never looked back. Shyamlal tied the stone to his weighing scale inside the shop. Customers noticed it immediately. Some admired it, some touched it, and some asked where he got it from. Shyamlal enjoyed the attention. He believed he had made a clever purchase. Days later, a jeweler entered the shop to buy supplies. The moment his eyes fell on the stone, his breath caught. He stepped closer, heart pounding, and examined it carefully. This was no ordinary stone. It was a diamond, rare, pure, and incredibly valuable. Trying to hide his excitement, the jeweler asked, "Where did you get this?" Shyamlal replied casually, "From a poor laborer. Paid him 50 rupees. The jeweler swallowed hard. He knew this diamond was worth a fortune. "I want to buy it," he said quickly. 100 rupees, Shyamlal replied. The jeweler frowned. His greed took over. Even though he knew the stone's true value, he couldn't stand paying more than necessary. 80, he countered. Shyamlal refused. The jeweler left, convinced he could return and bargain again. That decision ruined him. That evening, another jeweler entered the shop by chance. Unlike the first, he didn't hesitate. He recognized the diamond instantly and paid the full price without arguing. The next day, the first jeweler returned and found the stone gone. When he learned what happened, rage and regret consumed him. "You fool," he shouted. Shyamlal laughed calmly. "You knew its value and still argued over 20 rupees. Tell me, who is the real fool?" The jeweler had no answer.